the Municipal Association of Victoria are happy to answer your general questions about local councils, what works, what doesn't work, what can they do, what can't they do. And Jennifer Anderson is the president. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning, Raf.
A bit of your history, first of all. You've been a local councillor. Tell people what you've done.
So I've been on the Marsden Ranges Shire Council for, I think we're coming up for 14 years. This is my fourth term. And I have actually been interviewed by Virginia Trioli on Meet the Mayor 2 times.
Right, okay. So, 14th consecutive year as a local councillor for you?
Yes, that's right.
Wow. And who does your association represent?
So we are the peak body legislated in state government legislation. We represent all 79 councils in Victoria.
What does that mean if you represent them?
Yeah, it's often difficult because different councils will have different needs, but we have that broad, overarching, getting the feedback from all of our 79 member councils to work out what do we need to advocate for, what sort of education do we need to provide, so on multiple levels, and to assist smaller groups of councils if they need to have particular things and interactions, we will do that too.
Okay, look, if you've got a question for the MAV, the Municipal Association of Victoria, so much harder for Jennifer to answer your specific council questions, but what can councils do? What can't they do? What's hard? What's easy? And if you reckon local councils in general need to either lift their game or be given a shout out for what they do, 1300 222 774. Maybe, Jennifer, good to start with this. Gary called into 774 this week. He was in Bunyip, and this, of course, was about those giant potholes on the Princes Highway. Let's just have a listen.
On the approach to Melbourne, about out at Bunyip River, there's a major pothole in the freeway, and there was at least 20, maybe 30 cars with broken rims pulled over. And for about 15 kilometres thereafter, cars were pulled over with damaged rims.
So Gary actually gets the news-breaking award this week. He was the first to call in to Bob and Rochelle, and then everybody realised what was going on near Bunyip. Jennifer, potholes, big issue for local councils?
It certainly is. It's one of our 5 election pillar campaigns called Make Better Roads Happen, or Community Road Repair. So we know that even though local government is in charge of about 78% of the roads, the big connector roads are state government roads, and with increased flooding and drought and all the weather conditions, those potholes are coming thick and fast. So we are advocating to the state government that really they need to put significant investment into improving those roads so that Victorians and our tourists that come and visit us can just get around safely. And that helps the economy, that helps everyone to be able to get to medical appointments, etc. And at the same time, also working on active transport. So those that don't have a car or don't want to use a car, increasing those connections through walking, cycling and public transport.
Is Labor or Liberal better on this in the point of the view of the MAV?
Well, we will talk to everybody so that everybody will listen, and hopefully everyone will be on the same page to provide that important funding that is required.
I guess I am asking you, Jennifer, and it's okay if you don't, but I mean, I don't want to get lost in the various claims from the Labor and Liberal parties about who has spent what and when and how you would do it. But does the MAV come out before we get to vote and say, listen, we think one side's better than the other on potholes?
No, we're an apolitical organisation. We will talk to everybody and anybody, and we like to collaborate and work together. So we'll certainly work with each of the councils, discuss where their priority roads are, and try and help them to advocate to whoever's standing in their election so that whoever gets voted in is aware of what the priority roads are in their area.
Okay, Ben's got a query from Mount Evelyn. Ben, what's your question?
Yeah, hi. Look, I was just wondering what the MAV's thoughts are on the Liberal Party coming out and announcing that they'll continue rate caps if they're elected in the coming election.
Jennifer?
Yeah, so with the rate cap, we understand that the community has really embraced rate capping because then there's some assurity that things aren't going to go up, because in the past perhaps some councils may have put rates up a little bit more than people wanted. But what MAV is advocating for is looking at a better way of getting that rate cap done. So the rate cap is still there so that there is some governance around it, but perhaps there might be a better way, because CPI
Sorry, what would the better way be?
Well, it's not just using CPI because for councils, we don't sort of buy eggs and milk and bread. We have construction, we have roads, we have contracts, things that aren't affected by CPI that might cost a little bit more.
But you are
So if you
asking
only
for
put
more
it up,
leeway than the Liberal Party would want to give
just,
you?
yeah, looking at varying the rate cap and looking at maybe the different situations in different councils as well, because there are different needs. And we have had this discussion with both sides that are in government at the moment. We've discussed this with everybody, our desire to have a better way of making the rate cap work better.
Rate caps, anything else at all? The Municipal Association of Victoria are with you today on Meet the Mayor. They represent all your local councillors. If you've got a question, I'll be back with them in just a moment on 1300 222 774. And Brent's got a question for our local council representative. Bruce is calling from Mount Martha. What's your query, Bruce?
Good morning. I just wanted to get your attitudes about the Jess Wilson's pledge about having rubbish bins weekly. On a side issue on that, the Mornington Shire obviously does it weekly and recycling every 2 weeks, green waste every 2 weeks as well. I have a household of 3 teenage boys and myself. We have a small bin and I don't fill it. I put it out every 2 weeks as it is, and I just think her policy is encouraging waste. Okay. And if we have too much rubbish, it's known in the street as bin surfing, where you just find somebody else's bin late at night and fill it.
Yeah, there's a complicated ethical question, bin surfing, Bruce. But Jennifer, just to return to Bruce's initial point, what do you make? The Liberal Party say that everyone will have hard rubbish collected every week. What does the MAV think of that?
We really do not agree that something like that should be mandated. It's similar to our advocacy we've had about the purple glass bins, that really it should be local government does rubbish. It's one of our key core things we do. It is a very expensive contract, and every council should have that capacity to work with their community to work out what form is best in terms of cost. To Bruce's point, that environmental impact, reducing waste going to landfill, because that's a cost in itself, but increasing recycling and the green organics getting back into compost. So we don't agree with that policy. We think councils are best placed to talk to their community to get the best outcome for their community.
Just on the purple bin, so red bin, I think everyone now has, or most councils I think now have the red bin for the landfill rubbish. And I think about half of the municipalities have the purple bin for the separated glass. You want to get rid of that, or at least get rid of the idea that every council should do it.
Yes.
Is Ben
some
Carroll
councils
going to give you that?
And they're quite happy.
Forgive me, Jennifer. Is Ben Carroll going to give you that? There's sort of some noises that because the Labor Party switched from Jacinta Allen to Ben Carroll, they might give you that optionality on the purple bin and the glass bin.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll get that?
We'd had some discussions with the former Environment Minister, and that portfolio has changed. But certainly he had actually brought together some councils to have that discussion about the concerns raised about the purple bin, as well as waste dumping and product stewardship. So that was a really encouraging conversation. So we will try and re-engage with the new Environment Minister to progress that work.
Okay. George is calling from Doncaster. George, what's your question about?
I'm interested in what the MAV's position is on maternal and child health care. We've recently had a number of councils say they're no longer going to provide maternal and child health care services to newborn babies and mothers. There's a requirement that the hospital provide a birth notice to the council, and then the council then goes in and assists the mother. So we're now got a position where that's going to cease in some councils, mostly regional ones, where it's probably more critical. What's the MAV's position on that? Are they going to continue to support the requirement that councils provide this service, which is critical to new mothers and babies, or not?
Jennifer?
Yeah, we've been on this advocacy road for quite some time. It's a funding issue because there used to be a 50-50 funding split with state and local government. So some of those councils that have chosen to withdraw are just feeling those costs are increasing. So we're very supportive of there being an excellent maternal child health service in every municipality and ensuring that it's adequately funded, because we do see that as a critical service of councils, and councils are very proud to provide it. But if it does become cost prohibitive, Often with a lot of services, councils have to negotiate looking for somebody else to provide the service. But we've certainly been having, over the last 18 months, talking to the Department of Health about this cost issue, and hopefully we'll come up with some solutions soon with better funding for the councils.
Just on the scrutiny local councils face, Jennifer, the ABC team in Ballarat did some great reporting around Hepburnshire. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but there was a big project, Rex Theatre in Dalesford. Local government inspectorate looked into it, couldn't release the report. Just never released the report, so people never really found out what the investigation found. Do we need whoever keeps an eye on the councils, do we need them to be more transparent?
Well, I think everybody wants a system where there is good governance and good frameworks in place where everyone is treated equally. And also we want a system that deals with things promptly, really. So that's all we ask for, is a prompt system that
Well, it was neither prompt nor transparent.
And also councils to have a say in it, because we understand the implications of delays in getting these decisions made, in not releasing reports. So yes, a quick, transparent, consistent framework for governance would be what we would be after.
Yeah, there was. I don't think anyone's ever going to find out that, and that's a crucial watchdog. Either way, Jennifer Anderson is with us. She's the president of the Municipal Association of Victoria. So, doing the Meet the Mayor segment, but I guess representing local council interests across Victoria, so slightly different to a mayor. George, sorry, I've missed you there. Trevor is calling from Hughesdale. What do you want to ask, Trevor?
Thanks, Raf and Jennifer, for taking the call. Look, this is a bigger picture and maybe more of a curly one, but just interested whether Jennifer or the association has a view when you look at Australia population-wise compared to the rest of the world, whether you consider that Australia, being a small country, is perhaps overgoverned, and
are you asking her whether or not we need local councils?
Sorry?
Are you asking her whether or not she thinks we need local councils?
No, the other way round, whether perhaps we only need federal and local government, and perhaps state adds an extra layer that we don't need.
Okay. Jennifer, would you like to get rid of state governments?
Well, look, certainly at this stage we're working on an accord with state governments, so we've got a really good relationship with them. But I certainly know at the national level, which is the Australian Local Government Association, or ALGA, there have been many discussions around making sure that local government is in the Constitution, so it's actually a recognised level of government.
Wasn't that a Bob Hawke referendum? That failed.
Look, I can't remember. That was, I think, just as I first got on council. So there's certainly been discussions about the role of local government, the role of state government, and the role of federal government. And any of these changes would take time and would need referendums, etc. But for the moment, it's really us working with state government to make sure we've got a really good relationship, that we talk to each other and we can come up with solutions that are best for our communities.
And just that England model, say, where, I mean, they don't have state governments in a place like England. The local council runs hospitals and schools. Just philosophically, would you be open to the idea of essentially just two layers of government, a national one, and then you'd have a regional government? You might have a supersized council around Melbourne. Do you think that's crazy or sensible?
Look, no solution should ever be, thrown out, but you've always got to look at what the pros and cons are, what the, and the money flow, because obviously at the moment the federal government gets the majority of taxes, but a lot of that tax isn't flowing through to the local councils. So that's the big ask at the moment, is to actually get more money flowing through to local government before you start having the discussion about changing around who does what where.
Great question, Trevor. I'm not sure if that's enough of an answer for you, but I'm going to give Peter a try calling from Benalla on something different. Peter, what's your question about?
I'd like to know, whose responsibility is it to mow the nature strips, or is it just civic pride that compels you to do it?
Jennifer?
Oh, it's one of those age-old questions. So basically, it depends upon whether it is a feeder road that's a state government road into the town, or if it's a little township road. So if it's on the main ones that come into town, and you can ask your council, it's the council that does it. But if it's your little nature strip just on one of your side streets in town, it is a civic pride thing. It is up to the individual, but you'll often find the councils will do it anyway.
But it's not generally in the small streets the council's job.
The smaller streets, it's your obligation. It's the big, town entry ones that the council will do.
Okay, Peter, I hope that's an answer. I want to give Val a try calling from Carnegie. What's your question about, Val?
Hi, and it's good to listen to you. My issue is a broader one, which is the environment, and at a local level, it comes down to, especially with summer coming on and lots of rain, it's that whole conversation of weather. Of weed management.
Right.
I know it sounds boring, but it's a fire hazard.
You mean weed management on the roads?
Yes, absolutely. So I've spoken with my local mayor, and she took photographs and things like that. I've rung Environment Victoria, and they say, oh, every council has a fire safety officer.
Okay, look,
And
I just
when
want to, Val,
rung-
I want to give Jennifer a chance because I'm about a minute away from the news. So just hang on. Jennifer, weed management on roads,
weeds.
fire risk.
Weeds, age-old question, really important across metro, rural. It is something that we need to advocate for. It is a fire hazard. It is an environmental hazard. Some is at the remit of local government, but some is state government. So again, we need to work with state government on trying to minimise weeds. Really, really important topic. Couldn't agree with you more, Val, and certainly needs more investment from a state government level to assist councils to work with reducing the weeds.
You've only got 10 seconds for the hardest question, Jennifer. Does the state government listen when the MAV talks?
A lot of the time, we're having really good conversations and we are affecting change. But change takes time and requires those good relationships. So that's what we really want to work on, is improving relationships, that trust, and working with the community to get great solutions.
Thanks for your time.